Hello, my people. Today's episode, this one is special, gone. You know how sometimes life just brings someone into your space that makes you think differently about identity, strength, even hair. Yes, now, that's exactly what this is. Welcome back to Unraveling the Knots, the podcast where we dive into Afro-textured hair, the culture, the care, and the confidence it gives us. I'm your host, Ganiat Salami. You already know I, by day, work in project management. But the other part of me is that you most likely find me writing, researching, and talking a lot about natural hair. It's honestly one of my favorite things. I also love a good hair gist. But today, it's more than a gist. It's one of those conversations that will stay with you. My guest today is not just a woman I admire. She's also my friend, a proud Nigerian-American sister. And she didn't just move to the US. She joined the military. Yes, you heard me. So, I can look for trouble as I like because I have someone I can call. With her boots, discipline, and all of that. Guess what? She's doing it all while wearing the hijab and caring for her natural hair underneath. We're going to talk about hair, yes, but in ways you've probably never heard before. We'll explore what it means to wear your hair, how rules and routines affect self-care, and what it means to carry beauty culture and faith in systems that don't always understand it. So sit down, relax, grab a cup of tea or your Gary with granite and enjoy this one. It's about to be deep. Let's welcome my friend. Please, Tobi, introduce yourself to our listeners. Who are you? What do you do? And how did you even find yourself where you are today?
Well, thank you so much, Gania. I am happy to be here on your program to share my thoughts, my journey, my history about managing my natural hair. My name is Tobi Almaroof. I am a soldier in the United States Army. I am a financial manager. I'm an accountant. I'm an auditor. I'm an investigator. I have been in the military since 2013 when I moved into the United States. I joined the military as an enlisted member, and over time, I became an officer. So it's been 13 years, almost 13 years, well over 12. Yes. And I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to share my thoughts. I'm happy to share my story.
Oh my goodness. Tobi, thank you for introducing yourself. You see this, my friend, she has many hats in terms of her profession. She even forgot to mention that she's a mom.
Can you imagine forgetting the most important one?
Yes. Oh yeah, continue. We're listening to you.
I'm a mom of two. I have a 9-year-old son and an 18-month-old daughter. I love them so much. They're everything to me.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, imagine doing all this work and also being a phenomenal mom. Kudos to you, my dear. I have to say, Tobi she's an amazing friend. She's a phenomenal human being. I think most people that meet her just feel this warmth and connection. She's that kind of person that rallies people around. She's all about, connecting with people. She also pushes that sense of camaraderie. She's such a wonderful person. And I'm so glad that you're my friend. After all this hailing, you should be sparing me money, boss.
What?
We'll do that another time.
I know, right?
Yes. So now that you've kindly introduced yourself to our audience, we're going to transition to our questions. So let's start from here because this part is very deep and don't fear, like we're going to enjoy the conversation there. So you wear your hijab, your uniform, and you're serving in a country where for a long time, natural hair, especially our hair type, was not accepted in spaces like the military. In fact, until 2017, they had rules that didn't allow braids, twists, or even afros, right? So, tell me, my dear, when you joined the military, did you already know about these kind of rules? And did it ever make you feel like you had to fix your hair to be accepted?
So that's a great question. That's a very deep question. So when I joined the military, the army is always, they've always have their grooming and appearance regulations and policies. However, it didn't cover hijab or wearing hijab or other religious materials in uniform. So, meaning if there will be anyone else aside from me, probably one or two of us, but I never met anyone else, right? So, my recruiter, Army recruiters are mostly all about the numbers, bringing people in. They're probably not as educated as you would think in religious aspect or what the army allows. They just want to get you in. So I went through that. Just joining the military, it was when I got to boot camp that I realized, oh Lord, this is this is going to be a fight on its own. When drill sergeants saw me getting off the bus, hey soldier, what's that on your head? Yes, that was the shocker.
How did that go down, by the way?
It was awkward. It was challenging. It took everything in me to remain at boot camp. Because every corner, everywhere I go, the first thing, of course, they noticed was my head cover. And I felt like some of them probably knew what it was. They just wanted to act like they didn't know. They just want to be difficult. I don't know, maybe. And they question it in a very derogatory way, not like they're eager to know what it is or they knew what it was. They just want to speak down on it. Like some even use the F word.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
And it got to a point where my battle buddies, my colleagues, had to speak up for me. Before I even answer to say what it was, someone would have said, it's for her religion.
Mm.
Yeah.
So hearing that response about the fact that your hijab was something that had to do with your faith, did it seem to make people calm down and not question you as much anymore? Or did some people just didn't care and they kept pushing?
It was 2013, meaning the U.S. Army was just coming back from war, returning from war from the Middle East.
Oh.
So they knew what it was. Wow. So it was more of the not accepting it and kind of. And then I remember that every deployment story is of the drill sergeants that they shared. They look at me, even the other soldiers looked at me weird, as though I was from the Middle East when they shared their horrifying stories about being deployed to the Middle East.
Well, it's interesting. You would think that traveling, right, would help inform people and educate them about the people that live there. But it seemed like there was this gap.
Some people, it did. I would not lie. There are some people that converted to Islam as a result of their deployment to the Middle East.
Wow.
Yeah. And there are some that whatever their experience was, it was traumatizing to them, I believe. Mm-hmm. Or some people are just not fully acceptable of Islam or the Arabian culture to the extent that they look at it the way they look at it, and their view never changed despite their deployment or travel to those countries.
Wow.
So back to your question, there was no enough establishment of rules or policy and accommodations granted for soldiers that were willing or trying to use religious headgear. So they will tell you you can request from your chain of command, from your leadership, but the chances of it getting approved is very thin. And I went through basic training with my head cover on, but when I returned to my home unit, I had to put in a formal request to ask for accommodation of my religious headgear, and my first request was denied.
So what did you do when they denied this request?
I put in an appeal.
You put in an appeal. Okay.
I put in an appeal, and I was told that pending the time the appeal is being reviewed, I either report without my head cover or I stop reporting. So I stopped reporting for like 9 months.
What?
Mm-hmm.
So did it take them 9 months to review the appeal, or?
It was a process to review the appeal. They have to send it outside the organization because my request was quite extensive. I had used the hijab in all of our different uniforms, took a picture of myself and included it in my request. And thankfully, we had a chaplain. The unit I'm assigned to had a chaplain, a Christian chaplain, by the way, that helped me through the process of sending my request, not just to my organizational leadership, but external organizational leadership, going by the chain of command. So my request got to the national level, and eventually, mashallah, in January, I think it was January 3rd, 2017, one of the last things President Obama did in the office was to approve religious accommodation. Not just approve religious accommodation, but put it in the Army regulations with pictures that shows how the hijab could be worn in uniform, the colors we could use, the fact that despite you using hijab, you still have to have your hair in a specific style, in a specific bond, size and measurements on your head, the beard. And it was a religious accommodation across board, not just Islam, but Jewish religion, the Sikh, every religion that is mostly practiced in the United States or that they've seen amongst the soldiers.
Wow.
Were covered. So it was more of a collective effort, me pushing. And I remember having to reach out to a sheikh, an Indian sheikh that is also in the military. I was a specialist and he was a captain. That's like having 10 ranks between us. Like he was up there, but I was able to reach out to him to hear his views and, but alhamdulillah, we were all happy at the end of the day that our request was granted and, it became a national military policy.
Wow, that is so beautiful. I mean, you wouldn't. So this is the thing. I think when I met you, it's funny. The first time I saw you was years before me and you actually became friends. And I remember seeing you with the hijab and your army uniform. I was like, damn, who is that badass babe? And I didn't know. This was before 2017. I didn't know all of this was happening. So to see that you remained there and you persisted, man, kudos to you. I have to give it to you. That's really wonderful.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh my God.
And I'm happy today to see several Muslim sisters come into the military with their hijab, and I will get random contact asking me for process and how I got my hijab approved and all of that good stuff.
Wow.
So yeah.
That's really wonderful. Oh my goodness. Okay. So this is the thing. See, Hair is not just about looking fine. We both know that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a part of our identity. And for a lot of women, the moment they enter formal systems like the military, they have to start negotiating how their hair should behave. Have you ever had to change the way you wore or cared for your hair just to fit the military standards? What did that actually do to you emotionally?
So, when I was speaking to the Army regulation, including the hijab earlier, I mentioned that we had to come, despite, having the hijab covering our hair, we still have to conform to certain standards.
Yes.
The military, generally for women, we have to wear our hair in a certain way. It cannot be higher. It cannot be too high. It cannot be too low. It has to be of a specific diameter from your scalp.
Are you referring to like the bun?
The bun. Yes. Wow. If you have a bun. And it has to be tight and neat, yes.
What's the implication of having tight and neat buns for the military?
Well, it has implication for sure. Definitely the hair loss. And damages to the edges, especially in the front edges.
Of course.
So it's a very common condition in the military for females to experience the front edges being damaged over time as a result of pulling your bun and pulling your hair so tight because you're trying to keep it neat and the donut rolls, those round thing?
Yes.
Yes, yeah. So we use that.
Even under your hijab, you have to wear that?
You don't have to. If you can keep your hair together without wearing that, great. But that helps.
Yeah.
That helps. So a lot of females just go for that.
So women that have had to go through hair loss, how has the military compensated them?
Well, we have the VA compensation for sure. And there is the option to file a claim for that from the Veterans Affairs.
Mm-hmm. How about yourself, though?
I'm in the process. I experienced the same thing over the years. Yes, I experienced the same thing over the years. As a matter of fact, I have an upcoming appointment. Yes, I am definitely putting in my claim because it caused damage to my hair.
Man, so you serve the military and then you end up serving your edges to the military shah.
Oh, yeah. When they say you're signing your life away, it is
literal.
You're literal. You're literally signing it away. Everything.
That is intriguing, man, but no problem. Let me now ask you something very personal because you're my friend and I can ask this kind of question. I have that authority, I guess. So
bring it on.
Okay, now. Have you ever had one of those days where you just wanted to chop off all your hair? Not for fashion, no, but just because you were tired of managing it with everything else going on in life?
Yes, for sure. I had locks for 6 years and they got really long and healthy. But over time, with keeping that, trying to keep locks neat and in the right size with the military requirement. By the way, we were not allowed to have locks for a very long time.
But you were wearing it under your hijab, basically.
Under my hijab, basically. But they came for it at some point. I remember my commander addressing me about that, especially when my religious headgear thing got approved and President Obama released the memo and all of that. They addressed that. Oh, I know I've seen your hair before in the bathroom and I know you have locks and they're really
thick. Eyes inside bathroom. You having ego. What are you looking inside bathroom?
They are really thick and whatnot, and you may have to get rid of them, knowing that the regulation does not allow them. But shortly after that, the locs became allowed. They allowed the locs over time. But despite that, they allowed it. The maintenance of it and pulling the hair back for so long, my edges started giving up, right? So I got tired trying to maintaining the locks, keeping my edges moisturized, trying not to pull it too long, too tight, and all of that. I got tired of it, so I went for the big chop.
What year was this, by the way?
This was probably 2018 when I actually went for the big chop. That's what they called it, big chop. These were very healthy locks.
Man, that's messed up. What type of locks were they? Were they sister locks?
No, like the actual locks. In fact, anywhere when I go to retwist them, my stylist would say, "Oh my God, your locks are so healthy." But I'm looking at my edges, like, healthy where with these edges? And you know, when you retwist them, they pull it tight too.
Yeah.
And I have the option to let it down and all of that, but I couldn't do that because of the military. So I had to always put mine in a bond. So that even put more pressure. It made it more tighter. And that over time definitely affected. So I got rid of the locks. I cut them off. I donated to a cancer program. Yeah, because the lady that did the big chop for me, she was part of a movement, like a part of a program for cancer research center and stuff. So they had like this lock bank and where you can, and I remember keeping one of it. I was looking for it before this call. I was hoping that I would be able to show you.
How many years ago?
No, I kept like three strands or something like that.
How many years ago did you keep them? That was like 7 years ago, and you can still.
I know.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I have it somewhere.
You have it? Okay.
They were like really thick.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I think it's beautiful that a moment of having to give up what you love, in this instance, lock hairstyle, although it was sad and difficult, it was an opportunity for you to give back to, an organization dedicated to supporting people with cancer. I just think
yeah.
And that's just you. That's how you do. You be inspiring, making inspirational moves.
Right. Silently, huh?
Yes, so. Well, I also wanted to basically ask you. So for us, when we think about hair, me and you have talked about hair a lot. Hair is not just about doing a pretty hairstyle, right? It's also a sense for our softness, our femininity. In a space like the military where everything is structured and serious, how do you find softness with your hair? Do you have some little routines, maybe, for example, deep conditioning, braiding it, that just makes you feel like, yes, I'm still me?
Definitely. So a week ago, I went for my trimming, my periodic trimming. And before I went for that, the hairstyle I had it for a month or a little over a month. And I got to a point where I looked at myself in the mirror like, wow, Tobi, you better than this, I try to, and when I do that, I try to moisturize and, try to keep it not too dry. Even though I wear a hijab and people don't see it. And this is when I have it braided, right? I try to keep it moisturized and all of that. But got to a point where I'm like, nah, we need to do something, right? So in the busy schedule, being a mom, being a wife, being a professional, being a soldier, I still squeeze in that time. And when it gets too tight, when the schedule gets too tight though, and I don't have the opportunity to go to the salon, I do my own hair day, right? I do my own wash days. And as you know, we are a prominent customer of Idara.
Yes, so Tobi is like number one
So,
supporter.
so prominent customer of Idara, and thankfully the shampoo bar has made my life easier, way easier. So on my lazy, right, on my lazy hair day, I would use the shampoo bar, and it leaves the hair not, you know how after shampooing your hair is dry. It's not like that with the Idara shampoo bar. So it gives that moisture, and right after that I just do, if I'm lazy about going through the conditioning process or deep conditioning process, I just use the leave-in conditioner and makes it perfect. So I have days like that, and I have my regular full wash days where time permits, and I'll go through the full routine of deep conditioning and mask, using the hair mask and all of that good stuff, and a little bit of heat as needed here and there. Yeah. But on a normal full day, that like I did last week, I would go to the salon and actually, get my trims and do what I'm supposed to do. Yeah.
Wow. I know that a lot of people like Tobi. So Tobi being a mom and a wife and goodness, a career woman, it's not easy to find time to actually take care of your hair. So girl, you are modeling goals for us right here. Keep it up.
I try. Thank you. It's not always smooth like that though, but we make it happen, right?
Exactly. So now let me ask you something deeper. Do you feel like wearing the hijab has made you more intimate with your hair? I know that you did talk about the fact that, you spend time taking care of your hair, even though people don't see it, right? Like now that it's not always about the world seeing your hair, it's more about how you feel when you're with it. So do you feel like when the hijab has increased that sense of intimacy with your hair?
Definitely. Because everyone else don't see my hair, right? Out there, everyone outside don't see my hair. So whatever I am doing with my hair is definitely for myself, and it has more meaning, right? Because I'm not doing it for anyone else. It is for me. It is all about me. So yes, me and my hair and my intimacy, it is. It has wearing the hijab has definitely made me more intimate with my hair and my hair care routine.
Yeah, I just remember that Beyonce song, Me, Myself, and I, but it's like me, myself, and my hair.
And my hair, literally, literally, yes.
That's
yes.
Wonderful.
And, when shopping for the hijab, I'm thinking about the hair, the edges. I don't want something that will pull on my edges. And that's where the caps, the skull caps comes in. You want the silk because you want something that can keep the moisture without, getting through the hijab. And that's another thing I have to watch out for in uniform, right? I don't want my hair oil and moisturizer to be seen through my hijab, because over time, especially in summer, it would melt and everyone would see it on your hijab material. I don't want that. So I'm very particular about my under cap that I wear under my hijab, that it is silk, so it can keep the moisture in and it doesn't get to my hijab. And I also moisturize my hair the night before.
Wow.
Not the morning of, so that by morning, I moisturize the night before and I cover it. So by morning, the hair has absorbed my scalp, and my hair has absorbed the moisturizer or whatever treatment I put in it. Yeah.
This babe, you are very, very dedicated. It's beautiful. Like very methodical, The
It's been a minute.
well.
I've been wearing this hijab in uniform for a minute. So we've been through it. So yeah.
Keep it up. I'm loving it. Like I'm getting, it's funny because like I think a lot of times people are like, oh, I don't really know how to take care of my hair. I don't have the time. But it's like you're being strategic. There are requirements, right? Being in the military, but at the same time, it's like you're being deliberate. My hair should shine, but at the same time, it shouldn't interfere with, my position in the military or my presence in the military. And you want to be able to carry yourself in a way that is being considerate about what matters to you, but also ensuring that it's not affecting your career. Because I would think if you wear, for example, while in uniform, you're wearing your scarf and then there's a patch of oil on your head, that would probably be something that will be frowned upon, right?
They might not say anything directly to me, but someone would definitely be thinking about it, especially with a heavy male organization like that,
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Fascinating. So now, I also wanted to ask you, you did mention that you get these days younger women who are like Muslims in the military reaching out, asking questions about how to get approval for accommodation for wearing a religious head covering. I also wanted to ask you a slightly different question, something for younger women, right? If, for example, a young Nigerian woman wearing the hijab came to you today and said, Sister, I want to join the military, but I'm scared I will lose who I am, what would you tell her?
I'll be honest and let her know that it's not an easy journey, that the ability to maintain and keep who you are in such condition would definitely be challenged. And that's where it gets difficult, right? So the first thing is make sure you really want to do this. So when these people come to me, it's almost like I am their second recruiter, because I go back to, are you sure you really want to do this? Because I know what I went through to get the hijab thing in the military.
Yeah.
And it's not just, it's at this point, to be honest, it's personal to me to somewhat. I mean, my father is not doing the military, but because of what I've been through, I've created a path, and I definitely, it is encouraging to see young women come, but I need you to be able to represent us well. So I need you to make sure that this is really what you want to do. Now, if this is really what you want to do, it's not going to be easy, but you've got it. I've gone, sometimes I go to the extent of, sharing Amazon link to specific kind of hijabs and all of that. Like, okay, in summer, this is the ones I wear. Like the hijabs I wear in uniform, or even generally outside uniform in summer, are different from the ones I wear in winter. So even more so in uniform, because we have the highly intensive trainings we do. So I'm not going to wear a pashmina material hijab in summer, going through a rigorous training. So I'm going to wear something lighter. The hijab I wear, the material of the hijab I wear when we're doing physical fitness exercises is different from what I wear from what the hijab I wear when I'm in military dress uniform or even military combat uniform. So I go to the extent of breaking all of that down for them. Like, okay, so these are the things you want to consider. You want to make sure that despite you being a woman, we know the femininity and all of that in Islam and all of that as a Muslim woman, but you still have to be able to pass your physical fitness test, sis.
Yep.
As a matter of fact, the bar is higher for you. Because when everybody's wearing shorts in summer, you're wearing long pants and long sleeve, meaning you're hotter and you still have the same standard to meet.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so I put things like that up front to them. I'm honest about it. And I let them know whatever challenges, I'll be here to support. I've had to send an email to a recruiter of a soldier before. because the recruiter said, oh, they've never heard of anyone using religious headgear. And alhamdulillah, I'm an officer now, right? I'm a captain. So, well, you as a recruiter.
Captain Tobi, continue.
Oh, please. Stop it. So you as a recruiter that you're telling this service member or this prospective soldier that she cannot wear hijab, here is the regulation.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever questions or concerns you have as a recruiter, you can reach out to me.
Exactly.
I've gone to the extent of doing that before.
My God.
For a soldier.
You're trying. So this babe, in addition to like is it 5 or 6 different jobs you have? It seems like now you become, I was about to start speaking in Yoruba. You have become assistant recruitment specialist.
Yeah, so
you become
in fact,
affiliate influencer. Is Amazon giving you affiliate? Do they have like an affiliate whatever partnership with you?
No, I never really dived into those. I know that I'm sleeping on opportunities. But the weights need to be lighter a little bit before I can add certain things to it. Yeah. But I've had the ROTC instructor. ROTC is a Reserve Officer Training Corps. So when you go to high school and you see military programs or military groups, that's junior ROTC. When you go to colleges, you see military group, that's college ROTC. Now, I've had instructors of those programs reach out to me that they have cadets that are trying to come into the program, but they wear the hijab and they need me to educate them.
Wow.
About what the soldiers or what the cadets are allowed to use and not use, or, what is acceptable. And I would refer them to the regulations and share my 2 cents. Or there was even one that happened recently that an existing service member was trying to use hijab, and she said she had become a Muslim, she converted. And the unit was concerned that did she really convert? So the unit commander reached out to me and say, hey, Captain Almaroof, we have the soldier. Can you please talk to her and let us know if truly she...
What?
Yeah. Well, and I really can't blame them because people abuse it. But I'll let you know that in that situation, do you know that the unit was right? Can you believe it if I tell you that the unit was actually right? This soldier...
You're joking.
No, I'm not. This person, because they started dating a Muslim, even though they didn't understand the reasons for hijab, because they're trying to please another person, they wanted to start using hijab in uniform. So the relationship ended, and guess what else ended?
When the hijab ended.
Exactly.
Allah.
Mm-hmm. So
I guess it's a good thing that they're actually pulling you in. I would have thought this is a grown person. If you want to wear a hijab, it should be something that you want to do for your own personal conviction. But and it makes sense that they're having to pull sometimes.
Yeah, you can't. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't blame them.
Yeah, that's messed up.
You can't blame them. You cannot rule it completely out. You cannot rule it out completely. So, and my first question, I remember telling the commander, like, oh, so are you telling me, because I felt some type of way too. Exactly. So I was like, are you telling me that if a Christian comes to you that they want to do something because of that religion, you're going to call someone to validate their reason for doing that? Are you going to do the same? Is that fair to you?
Yeah.
That was my initial angle. Then I gave it a thought. I'm like, okay, you know what? Let me even talk to this lady and stuff. And I did. And I spoke with the unit, and the unit allowed it. And 2 months down the line, they were like, guess what happened, Almaroof?
Dang.
That was quite disappointing.
Instead, did not give people a good name.
Mm-hmm. And which is the reason why when people come to me to ask me all these questions, I literally re-interview them about why they want to join the military. Are you sure you really want to do this?
Yeah.
Because when things like that happens frequently, it's the U.S. Army. They can pull the policy back.
Exactly.
And that would
Like
mess
people
it up.
are abusing the policy.
Are
You
abusing the
don't want
policy.
that because people that really need
We
it
need it.
shouldn't feel
Yes.
deprived because some people are confused.
Exactly.
Man, that's messed up. But I think the key lesson is, for example, them reaching out to you saying that they wanted you to interview her. I think it's an important lesson because these people, Oju has seen, the eyes have seen. You talk to so many people and you meet so many classic, all sorts of examples. And I think it's a lesson for me because my initial reaction too, right, was like, they ask you to, but it makes a lot of sense. They have experienced so much. Being in that kind of position, you have access to so many people, so many experiences. So I think it's also good. It's great that eventually you're like partnering with them to ensure you're having these conversations because you're right. If you're not careful and you have a lot of people just flip-flopping on whether or not they want to wear the religious head covering, it could eventually impact people that do really need to wear it and want to wear it for the right reasons. Wow.
So this was what I shared with you was last year. Now, more recently, the Army is making some changes about appearance that affect mostly African Americans and Black and African Americans within the military formation. And
what are these changes, by the way? Are these things that are like already
beard, for example, beard? Even though there's a religious accommodation for beard, still on the line of people abusing things, right? Islam is not the only religion that requires men to keep that beard. There are other religions that require it. And there are medical conditions where some people cannot shave. The Army generally have to shave.
Yes.
And some people cannot shave because if they shave, their skin reacts a certain way and they get infections and all of that. And there is also the religious aspect. So in order for my organization's leadership not to overstep, while the big Army is trying to pull back on this policy, the organization is trying to protect, say, the people that are keeping their beard for religious reasons. They don't want them to be affected by the policy. So guess what one of my leaders did? He invited me to lunch and ask questions. We, in my unit, we don't have specifically a Muslim chaplain. In the Army, there is Christian chaplain, there are Muslim chaplains, but we don't have a lot of Muslim chaplains, very few Muslim chaplains. Because, as a chaplain in the Army, you have to be able to lead Salah. You have to be an imam. And women cannot be an imam.
Salah means prayer for people that are...
Yeah, Salah, yes, for prayer, right. So, and on the Christian side of things, a male, female can be a chaplain. But on the Muslim side of the house, it can only be male for Army because they want their Muslim religious leader to be able to lead prayer.
Yes.
Right. So because of that, we're very limited in the number of Muslim chaplains we have. Now, we don't have a Muslim chaplain that the leaders could go to. We have Christians chaplain that they're also talking to that we have within the organization, but the knowledge is limited. So they felt the need to talk to a Muslim. But voila, we have Captain Almaroof, who is a Muslim. We can ask her. So things like that, I appreciate it. I was happy to give these people the responses according to the Islamic guidance on beard and why we do it, so that they can incorporate that in the policy and the change they are making, so they can make adjustments for religious accommodation on the Islamic perspective of things. Like, the impact is extensive. And so when people also, that goes into when people ask me, why are you still in? Because I make a lot of difference. I've seen that my presence alone is impactful.
Yeah.
Me being pulled into this policy aspect and all of that, Yeah.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. It's funny how sometimes we can underestimate what our presence does in spaces. If you don't have people, and it's not just, for example, like you wearing the hijab, but there could be other situations whereby certain people are the first or you don't necessarily have as much people, for example, in the military, having others like you, creating a path, building a bridge of understanding, having important conversations is so crucial so that more people that are aspiring for opportunities in the military, for example, can pursue these things. So, man, my dear, you are doing an amazing job. And I want to ask you, let's go down and do some reflection real quick. And we're rounding things up.
Mm-hmm.
What part of your history from Nigeria to the US feels like the strongest part of who you are? What's the one thing you carry that nobody can take away from you, even with all the rules in the military?
The toughness of my Nigerian hair texture. the internationally known 4C texture. No matter what the rules are, no matter what the policies are, no matter what the restrictions are, that hair is going to remain.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Do your worst.
Do your worst. Like, it's okay. We got it under control. That's one thing I'm going to do. I'm going to control. Unfortunately, it is what it is. We got it under control.
But then what part of your history feels like it's the strongest part of who you are based on your experience in Nigeria and even in the US?
I would say my switch, and this is from Nigeria, my switch from using relaxer to transitioning to natural hair. Growing up, my mom applied relaxer on my hair. She did what she knew, right? Yeah. And over time, as I grew older, I realized that's not what I wanted for myself. And hence the lock journey. So I cut off my relaxed texture. Mm-hmm. And I started from the bottom. I started my locks from like low cut hairstyle to getting it to grow all the way to my shoulder, or even below, like go beyond my shoulder a little bit. Yeah, that it took a lot of dedication, a lot of determination it takes a lot of determination, a lot of dedication to do that, even though I was a young adult.
What pushed you though? Like, I would think a lot of people have relaxed hair. It's easier to manage, right? It's slick.
Yeah.
What pushed you to say, you know what, Bagbe, forget?
There was this hairstyle. There was this hairstyle I did that a salon or hairdresser did for me in Nigeria. And after that hairstyle, I noticed a lot of hair loss. Wow. And that was it for me. I think it was an extension. Well, I can't remember if it was an extension or braids that required the use of extension hair. Uh-huh. And after taking it out, and I just noticed, and also we got to remember, at least back then, moisturizing your hair was not.
It wasn't something we did. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that made it worse, you know, the frizzy and dry hair. It made it worse, and I lost a lot of hair from that hairstyle, and that was it. So I carried my hair for another 1 year after having that realization without putting relaxer on my hair. So I had a really thick undergrowth of natural hair. So I was ready to chop off the relaxed hair. So yeah, that was the drive. I saw the hair loss and I'm like, nope.
We're not doing this.
We're not doing this. Okay, we're definitely not doing this.
Mm-hmm. So this is my last question. In just 3 words, no long story. How would you describe your relationship with your hair today?
Yeah, my lady.
That means this is going to be hard. By the way, Tobi, so me and Tobi are like Yoruba. We're from the great Yoruba tribe, the massive Yoruba tribe of Nigeria. And every now and then when we start talking, we just switch to Yoruba. So Bear with us. Don't worry, I'll be
Yeah,
translating.
it's a natural thing. I love my hair.
Okay, so
I love my hair.
So you would say love is one of the words that describes your relationship with your hair. Okay.
Love, femininity.
Mm-hmm.
I would say femininity encompasses the softness. So I wouldn't bring softness into it. Love, femininity, and care.
Yes. Yes. I have to say, Tobi's hair is beautiful.
Now, don't put me out there.
No, sorry. Let me keep quiet.
That's for my husband only.
Sorry, my bad. Let me just keep quiet. Tobi's hair is nice, natural hair. Is that, can I, like, is that, did that?
It's acceptable. Carry on.
Acceptable. Yes. Tobi's natural hair is nice. There's so much undertone to that nice. Let me just leave it there.
Mm-hmm.
So you said for you, the three words that describe your relationship with your hair is love, femininity, and
care.
Wow, that's beautiful. And I don't know, man. I've enjoyed this conversation. And it's funny because,
likewise,
right? There are so many things that you shared that I didn't even know in terms of your hair experience. So, especially being in the military.
Mm-hmm.
So, hair is deep. Hair is complex. Hair is power. Today's episode reminded us that behind every bun, behind every hijab, under every hat, there's a woman carrying stories. Stories of identity, courage, compromise, and resilience. To my friend, thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for your honesty, your strength, and for reminding us that we can be bold, soft, structured, and spiritual. Yes, all at the same time. You showed us that we can serve, fight, protect, and still nurture our roots. To everyone listening, never forget, your hair carries memories. It carries meaning. Even when it's not showing, it's still a part of you. Whether you're in Lagos, New York, or some military base far away, love your hair. Respect it. Honor your roots because that's where your strength lives. Until next time, keep growing, keep loving, keep unraveling the knots.